With over a decade of experience in the credit card industry and now having operated as a small business owner for close to 3 years, I want to take the time today to teach you how to effectively leverage business credit cards as a small business or a startup. Now, by following my guidance in this video, we're going to make sure to steer clear of some of the common pitfalls of credit cards, such as credit card debt. And instead, I'm going to show you about some of the incredible benefits, such as unlocking 0% interest funding for your small business and a whole host of other benefits. And for those I haven't met yet, hi, my name's John of John's Finance Tips. This is a channel we dedicate to talking all things money. Now, the money topic of today's conversation is for small business owners and startups and how we can start using business credit cards to our advantage. And the video is going to break down into the following 3 sections. Section 1, I'm going to give you 4 reasons as to why you should open business credit cards. Section 2, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can apply for your very first business credit card. And in Section 3, I'm going to give you recommendations for 3 business credit cards in the beginner, mid-tier, and top-tier range. If that sounds like a plan, pop a squat, tap that thumb icon, and let's get into it. 4 reasons as to why you should open a business credit card. Reason number 1, funding. Listen, when you first start out, it's this weird chicken and egg problem. You just started a business and you want to get a loan. However, because you don't have experience operating a business, the bank is not likely to give you a loan. But without the loan and starting capital, how can you start your business? And so you gotta bootstrap, you gotta get creative with your funding sources. If you can raise money from friends and family, phenomenal. But some folks, either friends and family are tapped out or they're unwilling to invest in your business idea. So what do? Well, it's actually not too uncommon where I've actually heard of startup founders using and maxing out their personal credit cards. The issue with a lot of personal credit cards is obviously there's gonna be a hit to you if you carry a high balance, if you default, and the interest rates are pretty insane. However, with some business credit cards, they actually offer promotional 0% interest, and typically that's around 12 months. And so the way I view it is it's a bit of a stopgap from getting started to generating revenue to then obviously paying back all your credit card debt and you're off to the races. And the other benefit of business credit cards and using them kind of in this bootleg way for funding is the fact that they don't show up on a personal credit report. Now, I'm not saying you should default on the debt, but if you're carrying a high balance on a business credit card, it doesn't impact you on the personal side. And the amount of funding you get, or really just your credit limit, will depend on the card. Now, if you're a brand new business, likely $5,000 to $10,000 credit limit per card. However, I have had cards that have offered me a $30,000 credit line, and it also came with that promotional 0% APR for the 12 months. Pro tip though, try your hardest to make sure that you pay off that sucker before the 12 months expires, because typically once the promotional APR is gone, then it kicks back into the typical APR ranges where it could be well upwards of 18, 22, 29%. Oof. And in the 3rd section of this video, I'm gonna go over a couple cards that are currently offering a promotion APR of 0% for a period of time. Reason number 2, building business credit. It's great that we can kind of bootstrap our way using these 0% cards to get our funding off the ground, but at some point, you wanna be able to take out a loan in the name of your business. Well, similar to kind of how we build credit for ourselves, we can actually build credit for our business. And one of the easiest ways to build business credit is to get a business credit card in the exact same principles of a personal credit card. Make payments on time and in full. If you're able to do that, then you can establish that, hey, you're a reliable borrower. And then when you go get loans eventually in the name of your business, you have a much stronger profile and case to make for yourself. Reason number 3. Cash flow, or more specifically, cash flow management. When you first start out as a small business owner or startup, oftentimes you're gonna have expenses come way before your expected revenue. For example, let's say you wanted to be a YouTuber. Well, when you first start out making videos, you're not gonna be a part of the YouTube Partner Program. So you're not gonna get AdSense. You're not gonna have any brand deals. You're not gonna have any affiliate sources of revenue. However, you are going to have expenses. You might need to buy a camera. You might need to go get editing software, a computer, a studio built out. All of that is gonna start stacking up. And so it's very important to manage both your cash flow as well as your cash position. And the beauty of business credit cards is that they can help tremendously smooth that out for you. So here's what cash flow is. It's basically money coming in versus the money going out. If you have positive cash flow, it means more money is coming in than is going out. If you have negative cash flow, it means more money is going out than coming in. Obviously, we want to have positive cash flow, but just because you have a positive cash flow doesn't always necessarily mean the business is doing well. I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a second. Now let's look to an example. Let's say you have $5,000 of cash on hand with an expected revenue of $1,000. However, you now have $10,000 of expenses. Well, from a cash flow management perspective, if we just take $1,000 of expected revenue minus $10,000 of expenses, that is negative $9,000. That's not good. And from a cash position standpoint, if we look at the $5,000 of cash on hand, you have a negative $4,000 cash position. Yikes. However, if we were to use a business credit card, that $10,000 expense could be charged off, and now it's an installment-based payoff. And so let's say the credit card payment is only $500 a month. Well, now we take a look at our cash flow, the expected $1,000 of revenue coming in, minus that $500 credit card payment, and it's $500. Positive. In addition, your cash position looks solid here. You'd have a cash position of $5,500. But keep in mind, you still have $9,500 of expenses. So just because you have positive cash flow in a positive cash position, you still want to be wary of the overall business picture. But this is just an example of how using a business credit card lets you spread out that expense and allow you to operate your business with a positive cash flow and a positive cash position. Reason number 4. Cash back. When you have a small business or you're a startup, you're going to have monthly expenses. They could be in the neighborhood of $1,000, $10,000, heck, maybe even $100,000. But now, by using a business credit card, you could be earning cash back anywhere from 1 to 5% on top of that. And so you can either take that cash back as just cash back and apply it into your business, great, or you can take it as the points and miles you earn, and then you can redeem it for things like travel benefits, whether it's travel for the business or travel just for you and your leisure. But regardless of how you use the points, miles, and cash back, you are further leveraging an activity you're already going to do and getting additional benefit for it. Basically, money is going out and you're getting the product or service you pay for and then some on top of that. Section 2. How to apply for a business credit card and some of my tips. Step 1, set yourself up with an EIN. It's also known as an employer identification number. It's super simple. You go to the IRS website and you just sign up. Now, this is for companies that are an LLC or a corporation. If you're just a sole proprietor, meaning it's just little John starting a side hustle selling things on eBay, you're probably just going to either use your social security number, or you can apply using a TIN, which is a tax identification number, which you can also get from the IRS. It's free of charge. And I'd strongly recommend any sole proprietors to get a TIN because you don't want to just be sending out your social security number willy-nilly. Instead, use the TIN, it's tied to your social. There is no difference in the sense that when you file for taxes and all that, it's all going to be consolidated. It's just a good safety measure, in my opinion. Step number 2. This isn't mandatory, but I highly recommend it. Go open a business bank account, especially with a bank that you want a business credit card relationship with. In fact, you might just find that when you go and open a business bank account, they're just going to offer you the ability to apply for a business credit card. Step 3, or rather a pro tip, income. As a startup, as a small business owner, when you're first getting and applying for a business credit card, you might not have income. In fact, you might have expected income or projected income, and that's okay. When I applied for my very first business credit card ever, I didn't have revenue, but I had expected revenue, and that's what I applied for, and that's what I was approved with. Step 4, when you're applying for a business credit card, you will still need to use your social security number. There's gonna be 2 sections. The first section is gonna ask you about your business and inputting in either an EIN or TIN. In that section, you can also put in your SSN. No problem. In the next section is when it asks about you as the applicant, because you're still going to be on the hook for the business credit card debt. You are gonna be the personal guarantee, and in that section, you will still need to input your social security number. And on that note, keep in mind, you're on the hook for your business credit card debt. And that's why we want to build business credit, so one day we can get loans in our business where we are not personally liable for that debt. But when you first start out, the buck absolutely stops with you. Section 3. Now let me talk about some of my top recommended business credit cards to get you guys all started. So we have 3 categories. First is kind of the entry beginner level business card. The second is a mid-tier business card with a little bit more bells and whistles. And the third one is my top tier premium business credit card with a lot of bells and whistles, but also a lot of benefits. So the first card at the entry level that everyone should be getting is the no annual fee Chase Ink Unlimited. This business credit card right now comes with a sign-up bonus of $750 after you spend $6,000 within the first 3 months. And that $750 could be converted to 75,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points if you have a card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and you can do a whole slew of things when it comes to transferring and travel benefits. But what makes this card the most exciting is that not only does it have no annual fee, the card also has an intro bonus of 0% interest for the first 12 months. So remember earlier when I talked about bootstrapping and funding with business credit cards? Well, this is one of those examples. No interest for 12 months, no annual fee. And from an earnings perspective, this card is really easy to get your head around because it earns 1.5% cash back on all purchases. Done. And if you'd like to support my channel, you can feel free to check out some of my referral and affiliate links in the description box down below. The second card here is a mid-tier card, and it also comes from our friends over at Chase. And the reason this card is super exciting is the fact that it has a massive sign-on bonus right now. And the card in question is the Chase Ink Preferred. And this card right now has a sign-up bonus where you are going to earn a whopping 120,000 Chase points after you spend $8,000 in the first 3 months. On the low end, that 120,000 points could be worth just $1,000. And I'll leave a link for a video up here where you can also extract over $10,000 of value from the exact same sign-up bonus. From an earnings perspective, the Chase Ink Preferred will earn 3 points for every single dollar that you spend on the following categories, combined to a total of $150,000 of spend. So if you spend over that amount in these categories combined, you're only gonna earn 1 point per dollar. And those categories are shipping purchases, advertising purchases made with social media sites and search engines, internet, cable, and phone services, and finally, travel. And all other purchases are gonna earn 1 point per dollar spent. And one of my favorite features about this card is the fact that you have transfer partners, so you can take these points, transfer them to an hotel or airline partner, and redeem for way more value. And the card does have an annual fee of $95, but I personally think it's well worth it, and I highly recommend if you can find this elevated bonus of 120,000 points, jump on this. I've been in this space for 10 years, and this is the highest I've seen for this card, and I would jump on this any given day. And if you'd like a working link, you can check out the description box down below. And the third card I'd recommend is a top tier business card, and it's actually one of my favorite business cards, and that is the Capital One Venture X. The reason this card is top tier are some of the amazing travel benefits you receive, such as lounge access, such as global entry credits, and these make the travel day that much more enjoyable. Not to mention, you also get a slew of transfer partners similar to the Chase Ink Preferred. From an earnings perspective, this card earns 2 miles per hour spent everywhere, no limit, no cap, which is the highest that you will typically find for any business credit card. In addition, the card gives you a $300 travel credit and a $100 anniversary credit just for having it every year, which means when you compare it to its $395 a year annual fee, well, that's $400 of credits, $395 annual fee, it puts $5 back into your pocket. Yes, you literally get quote unquote paid $5 to have this top tier business credit card. And right now the sign up bonus is 150,000 points after spending $30,000 in the first 3 months. So folks, that wraps the video. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can start leveraging business credit cards as a small business owner or a startup. If you have any comments, questions, drop them down below. If you need to find any of the top offers I was talking about for business cards, feel free to check out any of the links in the description box down there as well. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace!